Okay, so Deebo Samuel will be traded by the 49ers this offseason. I wanted to come on here, give you guys potential landing spots for Deebo and where he might play in 2025. So, number one, a team that comes to mind immediately is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were all in on Brandon Ayuk last season before he eventually re signed with the Niners on a 4-year deal. Pittsburgh's currently got a wide receiver group of Van Jefferson, George Pickens, and Calvin Austin. It's not good enough. They need somebody alongside George Pickens to kind of complement him. And I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to 100% be involved in trade talks with the Niners for Deebo Samuel. Another thing to kind of note, which this is pretty interesting. So, Arthur Smith is the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator. He has had a long time relationship with Cordero Patterson since their time together with the Atlanta Falcons. Deebo Samuel is a higher end all purpose threat than Cordero Patterson is, and he's much younger. You know, Arthur Smith loves the type of player that Cordero Patterson is, and they'll be able to get that with Deebo Samuel, a guy that can return punts, a guy that can return kicks. You know, a guy that can be a pretty productive wide receiver, but also a very good runner of the football. That's what you get with Cordero Patterson. That's what you get with Deebo Samuel. And again, Deebo Samuel is much more of he's a higher end Cordero Patterson. So obviously, with that, Deebo Samuel could 100% be a suitor for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I would not be shocked if Pittsburgh inquires about Deebo Samuel and is in on the sweepstakes for Deebo. So definitely Pittsburgh is a team to watch out for as a trade suitor for Deebo Samuel. Another team that comes to mind is the New England Patriots. Their number one wide receiver is Kendrick Bourne. They obviously found their quarterback of the future in Drake May, and now the next, you know, step for them is to surround him with good weapons. The weapons that they currently have in their receiver group is not good enough. Pittsburgh could 100% be a suitor for, the Patriots could 100% be a suitor for Deebo Samuel during the offseason. I mean, this would be a good step in the right direction for New England. They need to surround talent around Drake May, and Deebo Samuel would be a good starting point for Mike Vrabel's Patriots in terms of getting back to having a good supporting cast around the quarterback. So New England 100% is a destination that I could see Deebo landing. The Washington Commanders. This is another interesting landing spot for Deebo. So they're set to see their two non-Terry McLaurin starting wide receivers in Diami Brown and Zacchaeus become free agents. Washington is also set to enter the offseason with the third most effective cap space in the entire league at $68.8 million. That gives them plenty of resources to play around with on the heels of their rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. What a year that Jaden Daniels had, being the offensive rookie of the year. He set NFL rookie records for completion percentage and rushing yards. And obviously, if Diami Brown goes elsewhere along with Zacchaeus, Deebo Samuel alongside Terry McLaurin would be a pretty damn good receiving group, a good 1-2 punch for Terry McLaurin. I think Washington would be better off going for like somebody like Devontae Adams if he's released by the Jets. Maybe even a guy like T. Higgins. Terry McLaurin and Deebo have similar play styles. I think Deebo is much more of a short. He's more of like a runner of the football, really good with the ball in his hands after the catch. That's kind of what Terry McLaurin is, but I do think Terry McLaurin is more of a downfield threat than Deebo is, and Deebo could 100% go into the role that Diami Brown had last season with the Commanders, and I think it would work out just fine for the Commanders. So that's why Commanders, in my opinion, are probably on this list as well for a couple as a destination for Deebo if and when the 49ers trade him. The Denver Broncos, they need somebody to complement Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton is, a 50-50 ball, big red zone threat type of receiver. Deebo Samuel will give Sean Payton kind of like a Taysom Hill. um, effect on the team like he had in New Orleans. Deebo can run the ball. Sean Payton loves a dynamic player like Deebo Samuel. And I think when it comes to Bo Nix, he had an incredible year. He was arguably he was the second best quarterback as a rookie, in my opinion. Or he was the second best rookie quarterback this season, aside from Jaden Daniels. So they got to get more a stronger supporting cast around Bo Nix. I think Deebo Samuel goes to Denver, compliments Cortland Sutton exactly how Sean Payton would want him to. They also have a couple of younger guys like Troy Franklin and Devon Vele, I think that's how you say his name, that are also pretty productive players. But again, Sean Payton loves a player like Deebo, and that's why, in my opinion, Denver is a pretty good landing spot for Deebo. And there's also been some chatter on Twitter about Deebo to the Broncos as well. So that's definitely a spot that I could see Deebo Samuel landing. Another destination, the LA Chargers. The Chargers are a team that, where their best receiver is Lad McConkey, who's coming off of a strong rookie season. They have Quentin Johnston, who's kind of a work in progress. But they could use a veteran Pro Bowl caliber option to kind of supplement the two young guys and Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnston. Chargers also have the sixth most effective cap space in the NFL at $55.2 million. To me, the Chargers are a very intriguing landing spot. I think when you look at the Chargers, they are missing a wide receiver. I definitely think they're probably going to be in on the Devontae Adams sweepstakes. But Deebo Samuel gives them a play style that nobody on the Chargers has. He can run the football. He's really good with the ball in his hand after the catch. He's not the best route runner, but that's why they have Lad McConkey. Lad McConkey is a pretty damn good route runner. He's more of a vertical threat, I would say, for the most part. I mean, Lad McConkey is Cooper Kupp in the Chargers offense. And Quentin Johnston's more of, I guess, a vertical threat than Lad McConkey is. But Deebo would give them somebody that would complement their receiving core pretty well. And it gives Jim Harbaugh a dynamic playmaker within this offense that can do more than just, run routes and whatnot. And Deebo's not really a good route runner. He's not really known for that. Deebo's really good with the ball in his hands after the catch. They could work Deebo into the run game. They could work him into like the short slant passing game, out routes, screens. These are things that Deebo excels at. I think the Chargers offense supports Deebo's play style, and I would probably throw the Chargers in there as a potential landing spot as well. So those would be probably my top landing spots for Deebo Samuel. I think I'm pretty confident that either Washington, New England, Pittsburgh, Denver, or the Los Angeles Chargers are probably going to be one of the teams that trade for Deebo. There is somebody, though, out there that I would not sleep on. There's really a couple teams out there that I wouldn't sleep on, and that would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. It gives Brian Thomas Jr. a good complement of wide receiver. Christian Kirk's representing, a potential pay cut this offseason. Gabe Davis, tremendously disappointed during his debut in Duval just this past season. So I definitely think Jacksonville is a team that's going to be a pretty heavy, they're going to probably be pretty heavy in the receiver market. I think Deebo is a pretty damn good option for them. And then lastly, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are definitely a team that would consider Deebo. They're going to get Rashee Rice back next year. They have the young rookie they have the rookie in Xavier Worthy. But outside of those two guys, they're not really great outside of they have Juju, who hasn't played bad. I guess he's been decently productive. And then they also have DeAndre Hopkins. But the future of Juju and DeAndre could be a little murky. I don't know if those guys are going to stick around for the Chiefs. And in that case, me personally, Deebo is a guy that I would 100% be in on or I guess the Chiefs are a team that I would 100% think could be in on a potential Deebo trade. So those would be my teams that I would think could trade for Deebo. Like I said, I'm pretty confident that one of these teams I listed are probably going to be the team that trades for him. If I had to give like a most likely team, I'll throw two out there. I would think most likely it's going to be Denver or Pittsburgh. I think those two teams by far would be would be the most likely teams to trade for Deebo Samuel. So if there's any other landing spots that you guys think would be decent for Deebo moving forward and into the offseason as the 49ers um, are looking to trade him, obviously let me know in the comments down below. Where do you guys think Deebo ends up? Still crazy to me that the situation is what it is with Deebo. I mean, obviously, when you look at it in terms of, you know, how quickly it transpired, it's pretty surprising to me how quick it really. I mean, it went from like, okay, the 49ers are exploring a Deebo trade. We've seen that in the past. I don't know if it's going to happen to like Deebo asked for a trade. He wants to play elsewhere in 2025, and it's going to happen. So, again, let me know what you guys think of these landing spots in the comments down below. Again, I mean, give me some other landing spots in the comments down below. Where could you guys see Deebo playing in 2025? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, go Niners. I'll see you guys in the next one.